Computer. All right, so I'm really excited about today. We're gonna do the herbal shortcut to feeling better every single day. And so I think people get stuck in a lot of different ways. By the end of this, we're gonna unstuck those blocks. We're gonna stop thinking that we can't, and we're gonna start thinking that we can. And it's way easier than we think. A lot of times we get bogged down with a lot of these things that we're gonna talk about, and we don't want to do it, but it's okay. We're gonna get through that, and it's gonna get a lot better. Okay. So if you're new here, my name is Mary Heather Fajardo, and I'm an herbalist, an educator, and founder of this herbal community journey on nature's path. And I love connecting people back with nature. Today's people, we are stuck in four walls. Actually, I saw a statistic that in the United States, 90% of our day is inside. And so we have changed from being outdoor creatures to indoor creatures. And that has caused a lot of problems that we really could fix simply. And so I really want to help guide you on this journey on nature's path to healing and really connecting back with nature and being more of a person that gets things done and feels grounded while they're doing it. So, I want to ask you a question. What brought you here today? What makes you interested in herbs in the first place? What is something that really connects you? Because that's what we're going to focus on. Because if you have that initial idea that you want to connect with herbs, then we need to get rid of those blocks that are going to get in the way of actually achieving that. So the problem isn't that you don't have motivation. It may be because you might be depressed, anxious, you are overwhelmed, you might have pain going on. But the overwhelm, confusion, and afraid, that's something that I heard over and over again in the community when I was asking those questions, was that there was a lot of fear around herbs. And I get that because not every herb is safe. You can't take every herb, and every herb doesn't work for every person. And a lot of people think they need a huge apothecary to get started. They think that they need to memorize every single herb and have a perfect knowledge before they begin. But waiting is actually going to cause more exhaustion, more depletion, and more stress because you're not fixing any problems. You're just staying stuck in that survival mode. And when we're in mode, we don't make good decisions. We don't feel good. We don't get things done, and we don't treat our family the best that we can treat them. And so not only are you supporting yourself in this, you're supporting your family. So the barrier isn't knowledge, it's belief that you need more before you can begin. So you don't need to know where to start. Okay. So these are the questions I want to ask. Like, is this something that might be blocking you? Um, I don't know where to start. Okay. So this is a common thing, especially if you're more of an earth sign. You're more of a I'm gonna wait and see type person. I need the whole plan type person. Then you're like, I don't know where to start, so I'm just not gonna start. There's too much information online. Every creator says something different. And I will tell you, for looking at herbs for so long, it's like I'll find an herb, I'm really pumped about it, and I'll watch a bunch of videos on it because I want to know everything about it. And one person says one thing, and the next says something completely different. And I didn't know about it. Sometimes I've even started taking the herb before I see that other thing that I'm like, oh, that might be something that I need to worry about. That can be fearful, but there are so many herbs that we can use on a regular basis that aren't so intense and don't have so many different side effects. So just like when you're starting to cook, when you first start, you don't start with a 10-course meal. You don't start with your Thanksgiving dinner. You don't get all the things and just put them all together because that would be so overwhelming. What we're going to do is we're going to start with simple things, adding one herb to something, adding or like doing something that's small to get you to that next level. So you can start understanding which herbs are working for you. And once you understand which herbs are working for you, you can start making blends and feel confident because you know this herb and this herb have been working for me for a while. So I know I can put those probably together. Okay? Not every herb you can do that with, but just know. Once you start understanding which herbs are working for you, it becomes easier. Okay, so this is another one I hear a lot. I don't have time. And I get that. We are in a society where it says do more, don't rest, keep going. And those are the things that they want you to do. And maybe it's even like sit in your office all day. Keep going, but sit. You know, so that you don't think that you have time. And I get that. But here's the thing is that these are some thoughts that I want to ask you. Are these in your head? Because I want you to start switching them. I barely have time to feed myself, let alone make herbal remedies. Is that one of your thoughts? I can, or I can't make complicated recipes, or spend hours in the kitchen. And then another one, I don't have energy to add one more thing to my life. Okay. And when we're in this, it's just like maybe you have a cluttered house and you are overwhelmed because everything is so dirty and you're like, I could never get to clean. But then say you actually take the effort, you get clean, and it's so much easier to maintain. Okay. But here's just a few shifts that you can make with your herbal journey. So herbs don't have to become a full-time hobby. They can be tiny little shifts, okay? Things that look like tossing a few herbs into a meal. So sprinkling thyme, rosemary, parsley. These are things that are actually that used to be in all kinds of food and sometimes are sparingly in food these days. If you get a really organic, pasta sauce, it might still have it in there. And a lot of times they'll add like an oregano into a pasta sauce. It's just not as much as they used to. But throwing those into a pre-cooked meal, something that you've already cooked or something that's already been cooked for you, this can still add nutrients to your meal. Takes 1 minute, literally. And if you have a blend, shake, 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 the end, it takes less than a minute. Adding a tea bag to your coffee. I did that today. I don't always drink coffee. Sometimes I go long periods without, but lately I've been liking blueberry flavor. And today I added a blueberry chamomile tea to my coffee, and I just added the tea bag in there. So it was super simple. It was something that, I mean, you probably have coffee, you probably have some type of drink every single day. Adding a tea bag in there, you could do cinnamon, ginger, whatever herb works for you. But again, it takes a minute or less, rip open a bag or put it in your little thing, and then you're good to go. Or drink tea instead of coffee. Make a swap. You're going to make coffee anyways. Just switch it out. And really, like, I don't need coffee all the time because I have so many different herbs that are giving me nutrients that I don't really need it. Like, I probably won't even drink this whole coffee. I don't need it. Um, and then, okay, is this another question you're asking yourself? Let me check. Okay. I'm afraid I'll do it wrong. So, are you stopping yourself because you're fearful? And this is something that the industries and the societies have set up for us because back in the day we used plants all the time. But this is a real fear. It's based on logic, just like people are scared of snakes. Well, there is a real fear. There's a reason why we're scared. The snakes could bite you and you could have problems. There's a reason why we have fear of spiders because some are poisonous or some will hurt you. Okay? So there's a reason why we have fear because herbs are not all perfect for everybody. But um, you can have fear of safety, interactions, fear you'll look silly. Some people, like, there's a social component to it that you're like, everybody's drinking coffee around me, and then I get the herbs out, and they're like, "Oh, look at that, that witch," or something like that, because they don't understand. Um, or fear of failing, so not doing it perfectly. And I do think a lot of people will stop themselves being like, I need to know exactly how to do it. But um, this is that same concept of don't do it all at once. Just do one herb, get get it perfected, and make it understand that herb. And you don't have to get all the herbs in the world. I have a ton of herbs, but I started with, let's see, what was my first one? I think I can't remember my exact first one, but holy basil was one that I I really latched onto first. Maybe St. John's wort, but I didn't like it. I didn't understand that, or I didn't like that one. But that's probably the first one I tried. But the one I latched onto was holy basil. And it's interesting because I tried the St. John's wort first. It didn't really work for me, but I thought in my mind, I thought, well, it has to work because it's supposed to be good for me. But it wasn't. And so I should have switched a lot faster, but I didn't understand. I didn't know anything better. But once I had holy basil, though, I would have a really stressful day and I would grab a cup of holy basil tea, or I actually had the supplement as well. And my day, it took the edges off my day. It rounded the edges, the static that you feel, that anxiety, and it felt like a warm, cozy blanket. And so instead of being something that, oh my gosh, I've got to add this to my day, it became something like I just like you reach for your coffee, just like you reach for a sweet treat, I was reaching for the holy basil because this is what's going to make me feel better. Okay? So we don't have to be afraid. And then, um, is this you? I buy herbs but never use them. So there's that cycle of getting excited and then forgetting, and then feeling guilty. This is very common. And so you're buying them without a plan or a system, and you're hiding them in cabinets. You've got information overload. Maybe you bought a ton of herbs and you don't know how to use them. I have done that before where I'm like, oh, I like this herb and this herb and this herb, and then I like they sit on my counter because I'm like, I don't remember what I got those for. And I really would consider labeling like as soon as you get it, this is for, this, because you might forget in 2 weeks, So, um, but how we're gonna break the cycle, organize your herbs so by certain or by concern or feeling, pairing herbs that exist in your daily routine. Oh, hi Sharon, how are you? And then focusing on one herb realistically. How are you doing, Sharon?
Good. Took me a moment to get the stuff to work.
The audio, yeah, it takes a second. It takes a second. How are you doing?
Oh, it's been a few weeks. That's putting it mildly. So trying to just take things slow.
Yeah, yeah. Trying to keep on cycle.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you joined us. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I think it sounds awesome. I love what you're doing.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. So we're talking about, having a go-to blend is super important, because those are something that you can grab on the go. Just make sure it's herbs that are good for you. But if you already have that blend set up, then it's a really good way to just grab it and toss it in 1 second, so it doesn't have to be complicated. Okay. Okay. So here's another question. Are you asking yourself or telling yourself, I guess, I don't know what herbs fit me. Okay. So this can be complicated, but it doesn't have to be. We all are organic people. We're not computers. We're all a little bit different. And while somebody might have a cough, it could be a dry cough, it could be a damp cough. And so we really need to make sure that we are picking which one is right for us, that and the herbs are based on that. So do you run hot or cold? Do you run dry or damp? Are you typically tense or lax? But they change and shift over time. So just make sure that you are really assessing yourself. And so you like because today I could be a little bit more hot than usual, so I might need an herb that's going to cool me down. So just because we have this the typical pattern today, we might feel a little bit different. So we might typically run damp. We usually have congestion, but we haven't drank enough water for a while, and we've taken some drying herbs and we've pushed ourselves in the other way. So just make sure that you're constantly monitoring that and double checking. So personalization is why herbs, um, or why one herb feels or can feel life changing for one person, but completely wrong for another. It's not failure, it's information. Okay. So, herbs about daily life. So, it's not about memorizing them, it's about your steady energy. It's about calm presence. Like, what is your life going to look like when you start getting herbs in your daily routine and actually feeling better? Because this is the central focus that you really need to be focused on when you're thinking about herbs, because this can propel you and motivate you. I work with toddlers in my main job, and a lot of times parents are like, well, she won't do that, she won't do this, and I'm like, okay, but what motivates her? Okay, so what motivates you to use these herbs? The motivation is to start feeling better, to start having more energy, to start having that sustained feeling of grounded, alive, um, connected. And so we really need to use that as a propulsion to do this. And I'll tell you, it's like I have a family that is actually quitting nicotine this week, and they are a mess. They are so angry and anxious. But in the long run, they're going to feel way better when they're done with that nicotine and it's out of their system and they can actually function without having that ups and downs of the nicotine withdrawal. And just like that, if you're not having herbs and maybe your diet is poor and you aren't going outside, these are symptoms that we're feeling all these negative effects right now. And so once you get to that side and you start feeling better, it's easy to maintain that because you're like, ooh, and you could skip a few days of using your herbs and you're like, why do I feel like this? Oh yeah, because I haven't been incorporating them. So you start noticing how much better you feel. And I can definitely say that I feel that way for sure. The biggest thing that holds people back is waiting until they feel ready. So, what people want, more knowledge, they feel like they've got to have a whole apothecary. But the truth is that confidence comes before starting. It or doesn't come before starting, it comes after. Just like we were talking about when you're making food, you don't feel I'm teaching my son how to cook right now, and he doesn't always like he doesn't have confidence. Like today, I was like, "Why don't you make some eggs and bacon?" He's like, "I don't have confidence in that." He's never made it. While I do feel like he could, he doesn't know. And so I was t trying to teach him the steps, and he's like, "Mom, that sounds like too much." It sounds like too much. But if I'm like, "Go make a grilled cheese," he knows how to make that. He can go in and he feels fine. So practicing and getting the knowledge and going with somebody that already knows how to do it first and then doing it on your own. It's a great way to get there. But most people feel at home with herbs. Sorry, most people who feel most at home with herbs didn't start that way. I mean, we all like I didn't start that way. I tried an herb, I would like I'd get excited and then I'd use it wrong, you know? And so I stumbled and fell and used the wrong herbs at times. And all honestly, I use this example a lot. There was a supplement I was using for my hair. It had horse tail in it, right? And that's what the main ingredient was, and that's what I was using it for. Well, it also had red clover in it, and I didn't think anything of it. I was like, red clover has calcium, that's great. But personally, I am super estrogen sensitive, and I did not realize that it was going to cause any estrogen reactions for me. I literally thought I was having some hot flash or like going through menopause early. I was like, this is happening. Like I was having hot flashes. I was like moody and irritated. I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with me. There's something going on. And I was just like trying to problem solve, like, what am I doing differently? Because it took a few weeks to start feeling like that while I was taking it. And I was like, this is really good for my hair. I wasn't even thinking about that. And I was just thinking about the main ingredient that I had in there. So I went and looked at it and I just researched all the herbs that were in it because it was multiple herbs. And then I found the clover and I was like, oh my goodness. Like I can't even take birth control with estrogen. I was like, oh, I'm so sensitive to estrogen. Everybody's a little different. But so I stopped taking it immediately. All of the symptoms went away. So, long story short, if you're seeing new symptoms, because you're taking something different, that's why we try to use one herb at a time that we haven't used before. So we can kind of identify it, not like a whole mix of herbs that you don't know. So here are just four different herbs that you can get started with right now today that anybody can deal with. Not anybody, but typically most people can tolerate these herbs and what they're used for. So mint, spearmint, peppermint, sweet mint. This one's great for people that have heat, tension, get overstimulated or irritated. The most common ways of using these is tea. Infused water is probably one of the easiest ways. You get a sprig, put it in water. If it's already dried, it doesn't taste as good. The fresh is even is the best, but you can even get fresh sprigs of mint at a lot of grocery stores. I have so much mint in my garden. Like I just go out and grab some mint and put it in my water when I'm on the way to work, especially on those really hot days. When my heater went out in my car, that was like a lifesaver. I loaded up with ice and put mint in it and some lemon balm. Oh my gosh. That's what saved me from dying from the heat in the car. Cinnamon, so if you're on the other end of the spectrum, if you need that heat, so this is going to be like if you're cold, sluggish, you've got some stagnant, maybe you have a hard time with your digestion, you need that fire going on, you've got some low energy. This one's really easy to add to oatmeal, tea, your coffee, baked goods, and some warming drinks. So, hot apple cider, things like that. Okay, so that's an easy way to get that one in. Whoops. Thyme. Now this one's great if you run moist, if you're always like got congestion, you're heavy, bogged down. So this is a great way. You can add it in broths, soups. You can add it in a stir fry. You can have like put it in a pot and put a towel over you and add it to a steam, especially if you are really congested around this time of year. It's a great way to like dry out those lungs if you're all congested. You can have it in a tea. I have heard of people adding it to tea. I don't love the flavor. You can always mask it with a different type of flavor, but you know, if you want it, you can. And then you can add it to another seasonal blend. Thyme goes really well with oregano and parsley. Those are really good together. Sometimes rosemary. And then marshmallow. So this is for your moistening. So if you run dry, if you're like always thirsty, you get irritable, um, you're depleted and like rough, like you got some dry skin going on, your hair's kind of brittle. This is kind of signs that you need more moistening. So this one, you really do want to use a cold infusion. If you put it in a tea, It's really not recommended because the mucilage kind of depletes. But cold infusion is best, like leaving it in overnight, or just out on the counter if you don't like it cold. But yeah, you can use it that way. That's the best way. So some simple first steps. So I want you to be thinking about which one you're going to choose. Choose one herbs this week, and then you can use it in a tea or an infusion or one of those that we mentioned. It doesn't have to be a tea, but I would like you to try it consistently for a week. Put the herbs somewhere visible that's in sight so you can keep it in mind. You know that you're going to grab that every day. And then I would like you to spend 5 minutes outside. You don't have to walk, but if you want to, that's even better. But just notice the plants, look around, take a breath. Like I always like to look at the beauty of outside. Like I want to like when I'm outside, I'm always like, "Ooh, look at that tree. Look at that plant. Look at that. Look at the clouds." So I'm always trying to appreciate the clouds, and that brings that peace that we need as well. It's part of that package. And then notice your pattern. Pay attention to your energy, your body awareness, and foundation of personalizing your herb. So we're running a little bit behind, but it's fine. So let's I really want you to start it. Now, the two people on this already do use herbs, but anybody that's watching the replay and maybe you're inspired to like kickstart and get started again using them more. I know Sharon, you use herbs all the time. But so I want you to ask yourself, what is one thing you can do today to start your herbal journey? Um, so one of the things that we talked about, at least, I feel like that plan was pretty basic and you could probably start all of them. But if you're overwhelmed, just pick one. What herb have you been curious about but you've never tried it? So that could be one thing you're like adding to your routine. It may not even be a normal herb. It might be something more unique because sometimes we're more inspired by something different. Cinnamon, it's like, well, I've had cinnamon since I was a kid, it's not exciting. So pick an herb that you are inspired by. And then what has been holding me back and am I ready to let go? So the plan doesn't have to be perfect. It's just about, or it just has to be yours. Okay, so you don't have to do this alone. We also, like, I have an invitation to deepen your support because like we talked about, like when you're starting your herbal journey, you like when you're cooking, like when I prepare something with my son for the first time, I'm there with him. And so I'm helping guide him at the very beginning. And then once he feels confident, then he can go further. Okay. So, but at the beginning, you need more support. And so that's what the Wild Path is. It really helps support you every single month so that you are not doing this alone and you have a way to reconnect. This month we are doing Herbal Basics. It is getting ready to happen live next week. And so I'm really excited about it. It's going to use real life herbs. And we're going to talk about your go-to herbs that you can grab and for different reasons. So this is almost like I don't want to say, but your medicine cabinet. I always get worried about using the word medicine, but it's kind of like your apothecary with several different herbs, but not so many that you get overwhelmed, but that you can grab when something comes up. It's also got some seasonal guidance, and in the Wild Path, we also have gardening support. And then we're gonna have okay, let's go over what's really in the Herbal Basics bundle. Okay, so we're going to kickstart this again. We had it already, but I made it more intense and better. Um, and so, oh, you have to go. Okay, yes, thank you. You're ordering marshmallow and using peppermint today. Oh, wonderful. I finally got marshmallow And so I've been liking that one for sure. Some people say that it's like really thick, but I haven't noticed that. But thanks for joining, Sharon. I appreciate you. And so inside that, we are kickstarting it again. And really, I should have called this like the Kickstart bundle, because it is the herbal basics, but it really gets you started into herbs and feeling more confident. So it gives you that 15-day herbal kickstart that helps you step through, and gives you something to do every single day. And then you can start seeing which one felt comfortable in your day, and you can start problem solving what would fit best for you. You're easy to spot herbs for foraging. So, in your area, there's a lot of herbs that are probably around you. You just don't know them. And so have a bunch of those. We also have herbs that, oh, the quick guide that we talked about, like herbs based on your medicine cabinet. We have pantry herbs that ease symptoms. So these are going to be your herbs, like, your basils and your rosemary and what they do. Because, yes, we use them because of flavor, but this is why we use them. We have a portion size guide that has a general understanding of what portion size we could use. We have fall recipes and remedies for the fall. That's a little bonus for the season. We have the winter herbal season support and the spring one, and then we will add a summer one here soon. That won't be included until later, once the summer gets kicked started. And then we have Ayurvedic energy and dosha support. And then if you hop in today, then I'm going to be adding a sleep support and herbs for sleep support and herbs for energy. We're also going to have the live replay from last time. And there's also going to be a 14-day herbal journey from last time as well. So this is a total of $338 value, but plus, but I'm not going to do that. This is all going to be inside the Wild Path monthly. And yeah, these are your quick start guides. You're going to unlock herbs for to help you sleep at night, unwind and relax, and then herbs that energize during the day. This is not just the caffeine jitters, but herbs that are really going to nourish and support and deepen your vitality and energy. And so, if you were to buy it outright today, which you can, can choose either one on the page that I'm going to give you, but it's $57. Now you will have access to that on an ongoing basis, and so, but this is everything that's in the package, which is over $300 value, and so it's just going to be 57 today. But you have two choices on your path on Journey on Nature's Path, and so you can get the Herbal Basics bundle for 57, or it is available to you this month, and you can show up live and you can apply it for this month. For $37. And this will be the monthly subscription. And so I love having the two options so this can fit you guys personally. And so I'm going to put the link here. I don't think I grabbed it. Hold on, let me grab it. Um, and then if you're watching this later, the link will be above or below. I don't know which one it's going to be. Let me see. I'm trying to talk and do something else at the same time. So while I'm popping this up, do you have any questions? And are you going to start anything? Start using any herbs that you have? Have you already started?
I have a lot of herbs. I use them all
Okay,
the so I
wonderful.
and I use them, and so it's sometimes they get forgotten in the garden, but oftentimes they get used. And then of course I am the one that's like, "Oh, I bought that blend. When did I buy that blend?" So, uh
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
but yes, this was nice. Thank you.
yes, you're welcome. I'm glad that you joined.
Yeah.
This is really um I don't know. I like inspiring people to get started with herbs for sure. But yeah, yeah. What blends do you like the best? What do you go to?
I have a favorite blend that I use because I live in Texas, so I'm in
Hmm.
a very hot
Yeah.
climate. So, and it's gorgeous right now, but it's starting to get warmer and warmer. So my go-to blend for to stay warm, I guess, to stay cool,
Very
pardon me.
cool. Yeah.
Um, I do hibiscus and dandelion root, nettles, and cinnamon. So it's like a good balance of the warm and cool.
Okay. Yeah.
It's my
It's
usual.
almost like a, yeah. The nettle, I feel like almost adds like a an earthy feel, like flavor to whatever, you know? But
But that's my usual go-to. And it
yeah.
also reminds me to stay even more hydrated because, a couple of those plants are diuretic, have a
Yeah.
good quality.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
The
then
hibiscus
talking,
and the
yep, the
dandelion.
dandelion. And then
Hmm.
talking about more mucilaginous uh, sort of, effect that a plant offers. Um, Licorice is one of my favorite. And so if I'm going to do something hot, I love licorice and peppermint together.
Hmm.
A good combination. And
Yes.
it's great to clear the lungs and to take a deep breath. So those are my two favorite blends that I do on the regular and almost all the time.
Wonderful. Yeah. Yeah. I think I drink a lot of teas with chicory
Mhm,
and chamomile.
mhm.
Those are like two that I have a lot. Chamomile mostly for digestion, chicory for the energy, but Schisandra berry has stolen my heart too. I've been loving that one for immunity.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
For sure.
so so that one has been and energy too as well. So it's been a good one.
I love it.
But thank you so much for hopping on. And
Oh,
I have seen your name in the community, so I was like when you hopped on, I was like, oh yeah, I've seen her over there. So I'm
no,
glad you're in.
it was really nice and interesting to see that you have a little bit of Ayurvedic sort of, you've got
Yes.
sprinkled a little Ayurveda into your offering. So,
Yes. Yeah, I do Western and Ayurvedic. Those are the two. I kind of blend the two because there is that tense and lax that isn't as focused on in Ayurvedic. But yeah, and then I use a lot of Western herbs with the Ayurvedic concepts because I feel like we don't always have access to some of those herbs, so I try to kind of blend the two. That's kind of my
mhm.
style.
Yeah, no, I love that style. When I was studying, I studied at a women's clinic in India, and the room I stayed in was Tulasi, which is Tulsi, so holy basil.
Yes, yes,
Since you love Tulsi, another local.
yes,
Um,
yes.
but one of my teachers there, and I felt like this was so powerful. He just said, "You know what, Cheryl? You're from a part of the world that has a good plant base. You should go to one of the local medicine." medicine
Hmm.
medicine women in your community and
Hmm.
um and see what plants have the same properties because we study
Yes.
plants with specific properties and so I thought that was a great idea. Of course I did not go down to
Hmm.
the community center to do that. I just tackled it on my own, but
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it was a really good opportunity to understand that whatever the properties of the plants are here, there's something for us to
Yes.
heal from and work from here.
Yes.
Of course,
Hmm.
finding that partner in across the planet,
Yes.
across the world.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And and sometimes it's like it's a variant. It's like, well, you might have to use two herbs for one, or something like that. But yeah, yeah, but I do tend to use more. I don't know, like I did a whole unit on holy basil, the three types, and all that. And so, I mean, sometimes I'll push them. And ashwagandha's coming over here, even though, it's not native over here. But I mean, there's a lot of herbs that are coming over here, even though, we don't have them.
Yeah,
But
they are. We have access to a lot
yes.
Especially the adaptogens. We have a lot of access to those here
Yes.
in
Yeah.
some.
And that's honestly more of a newer area. I'm just gonna stop
Oh,
recording now.
I didn't realize